Gohan, listen closely. You have the potential to become the most powerful being on Earth. You need to believe in yourself and unleash that power. It's do or die time. So draw out all your strength and use it to protect your world and everyone in it.
Hi everybody, this is Kevin and welcome back to another anime review. And today I'm going to share my thoughts on Dragon Ball Super Hero, which released in Japan this past April and then in North America and worldwide this past weekend. I actually saw it on opening night on Thursday at AMC Theater, so that was a lot of fun because it was a pretty packed theater and you could tell they were all Dragon Ball fans. And I just gotta get this out of the way because I've been ragging on this movie for some time after seeing the trailers and, criticizing the CGI animation, which a lot of us have been doing. And I still stand by that because, the first trailers came out, you can compare that to Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi on the PS2, and they look the same. But after watching the movie and going in with all expectations, I love the story. I love the fact that Gohan and Piccolo are the heroes here, and they really step up as Goku and Vegeta are on the sidelines, training on Beerus's planet. They do cameo in the film, but they're written out of the story so they don't join the big fight in a very comedic way. And it was great that Gohan and Piccolo got the chance to step up and fight a major villain and save Earth. So that was awesome. And, because so many characters get sidelined now in Dragon Ball Super because it's the Goku and Vegeta show. And with Gogeta and Broly appearing in the last movie, how can the other characters compete? How can Yamcha compete? Come on. But, the animation is fine. There are instances when they're going really fast in the more intense fights where it looks really choppy and it's hard to stay focused, at least for me. And in a theater, it was kind of difficult. And I still question as to why the hell they did CGI animation. Like, compare this movie to a movie like Fusion Reborn, which came out almost 25 years ago. Fusion Reborn still holds up extremely well, whereas the CGI shit, I don't know, it's Dragon Ball, so people will continue to watch it over and over again because it's such a popular franchise. But I don't know why they would do that. And even compare it to Super Broly, the last movie that came out a few years ago, and how awesome that looked. And then for them to cheap that and do this experiment with CGI, I still don't quite understand why they did it. But I love the story. I love seeing Pan again. And I loved all the other cameos we got, and I can't wait to talk about it. So the movie starts with quite a few flashbacks, particularly with the Red Ribbon Army, and how Son Goku defeated the Red Ribbon Army years and years ago, and now it's rebranded itself as the Red Ribbon Pharmaceutical Company and is headed by Magenta, the son of Commander Red. And Magenta is voiced by Charles Martinet, who is also the voice behind Mario in the Super Mario games, who essentially just does the woohoo sound effects. So I thought that was a cool cameo. And I've never really heard the man speak. And he has hey, yo, kind of like this Italian mafioso accent, at least for the character he was voicing. And, Magenta. And you gotta love how Toriyama always does that with the names like red, blue, etc., etc. And then we have Magenta, which is a shade of red. And he's kind of like a manlet who's waddling around with his cigar, and he has his associate Carmine, who has the Johnny Bravo hairdo, and he's driving him around, and there's an area in the car where his hair goes because it's so big, which I thought was hilarious. But Magenta recruits this young boy named Dr. Hedo, who is the grandson of Dr. Gero, and he wants to recruit him so that they can stop Goku once and for all. But he sort of pitches it to Dr. Hedo as, Bulma and the Capsule Corporation are evil, and they're housing aliens. And he's showing him stock footage of, Goku and Vegeta flying around, Piccolo, who they refer to as the Demon King Piccolo, which I thought was awesome, Gohan, Mr. Satan himself. They're like, Mr. Satan's in cahoots with them, the world martial arts champion of the world, Majin Buu. And it's pretty funny how they're, masquerading that they're the villains. And they trick Dr. Hedo because he's not necessarily a bad guy, but he wants to create androids to become superheroes. He doesn't want to create evil androids like his grandfather, Dr. Gero, did, but wants to create, superhero androids. And he ends up creating Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, which are both really cool characters. Gamma 2 is kind of the cocky, yeah, I'm Gamma 2. And Gamma 1 is the analytical, we must eliminate this threat type character. And in secret, they're plotting to create Cell Max, which, oh man, awesome. So much great nostalgia for OG Dragon Ball. So it cuts to Piccolo, who's training with Pan, at Piccolo's house, by the way, which is basically like a Namekian spaceship, which he modified into a house. And he's just sitting there sort of meditating as Pan keeps attacking him, you know, punching him, kicking him, etc., and he's blocking. And then he blocks her and taps her a little too hard and sends her flying, and she crashes into the wall. And he's like, oh, Pan, are you okay? Are you okay? But she gets right up and says, I'm fine, Piccolo. Okay, now teach me how to do the energy blast like my papa. And Piccolo says, well, I'll teach you when you can learn how to fly. And there's a cute scene where she's trying to fly, where she's like, you know, like trying to harness the energy, like, ah, you know. And you see like the air and the energy moving around her, like the rocks moving around her, but she's not able to fly. And Piccolo's like, oh, well, once you can fly, I'll teach you how to do the energy blast. And then they have a moment where she's asking, like, my papa used to be really strong, but now all he does is work on his research. What's the deal, Piccolo? And I wish you would have referred to him as Uncle Piccolo, because he is Uncle Piccolo, but she just calls him Piccolo. It would have been so much cuter. Uncle Piccolo, because that's what he is, man. Come on. And he says, well, your father used to be the strongest, but he's really been slacking doing his research or whatever. And then she says, oh, look at the top, you gotta go home. So she scurries on home, and you see her, she runs like super fast to go home. And then immediately, Piccolo's cell phone starts ringing. And it's hilarious because as it's ringing, Piccolo's like, what is that? And he picks up the phone, and he's like doing the you know, FaceTime or whatever it is. And the way he's holding it, he picks up the phone, he's like, oh, is that you, Videl? Let me get on camera. Is that you, Videl? Like the way he's holding it up top, like, Videl, what do you want? And Videl calls him and says, you know, you got to pick Pan up from school tomorrow. And Piccolo, again? Why can't Gohan pick up his own daughter? Oh, he's working on his research. So Piccolo agrees to pick her up, but he pays a visit to Gohan, and he starts like knocking on the window to get his attention. And Gohan answers, oh, Piccolo, what are you doing here? Why do I have to pick your daughter up from school? Why can't her own father pick her up? And he's talking about how he's doing his research. And Piccolo, you've gone soft, kid. And Gohan says, oh, if any major threat appears, Dad and Vegeta will take care of it. And Piccolo says, well, they're on Beerus's planet training right now. What if a threat were to come right now? Oh, that's not going to happen. And Piccolo leaves by putting, like, his outfit on. Like, you know, the cape that he wears with the shoulder pads and the purple gi on Gohan, and leaves him like that. And Gohan's like, oh, that's heavy. So, you know, it cuts to Goku and Vegeta on Beerus's planet where they're training with Broly, and at first Broly's powering up really fast, and Goku's like, calm down, Broly, don't go that far yet, we need to calm down. And Whis is like, now, boys, you gotta settle down, Lord Beerus will wake up, he's napping. And dude, Whis' voice actor, Ian Sinclair, is fucking awesome. The way he voices Whis, fantastic. But of course, Beerus wakes up and he's getting all pissed off, and he's like, who are these new visitors we have? Because along with Broly, we have the other two characters. Well, I forget their name. Lemu and Chila, I think their names are. The characters from Broly appear, and they're on the planet, and they make a great feast for Beerus, and he's like, oh, you guys can stay with us. Excellent. And Chila is actually voiced by Erica Lindbeck, which is awesome, because, you know, she's just the best voice actress. She's Futaba in Persona 5, Shion and Tales of Arise. All sorts of great characters. So great that she's returning. And, you know, they start battling, and then Goku and Vegeta agree to fight. And you know, they start fighting, and that's that story going on. So they're off-world. And then what happens is Gamma 2 appears, starts fighting Piccolo. And then Piccolo is, you know, kind of getting his ass kicked. He's like, oh, shit. You know, I just told Gohan that, there's this evil threat coming, and what are we going to do? So he follows Gamma 2 after pretending that he was defeated into the Red Ribbon Army, and they figure out what they're plotting, and he learns about Cell Max and Dr. Hedo and all these people, and it's showing like all the top priorities, like Gohan, Demon King Piccolo, Goku, Vegeta, Majin Buu, and then Piccolo's got to prepare. And so what he does is he calls Bulma and tells Bulma, you got to get in contact with your husband, with Vegeta and Goku. And she's like, okay, Piccolo. And it's funny, there's a few fan service shots of Bulma, because when Piccolo gets in contact with her, she's like under the sink, and you see her ass like sticking up in the air, which is hilarious, which comes into play later on when they summon the dragon. But, you know, you got that whole thing, and she eventually tries calling them, and the way she can communicate to Whis is through his staff. But they're eating all this ice cream, and the empty ice cream bucket is on top of the staff, so Bulma's phone call isn't reaching them. That's why Goku and Vegeta never showed up. So Piccolo pays a visit to Korin and Yajirobe and gets 2 senzu beans, and then sees Dende, which is so awesome seeing like Yajirobe, one of the OGs who helped him defeat Vegeta in the original Saiyan arc. I mean, awesome seeing him, and he has a mustache now. And then he sees Dende and tells Dende, remember back on Namek when the Grand Elder unlocked Krillin's potential and Gohan's potential and even your potential? Well, do that for me, would you? And Dende's like, well, sorry, Piccolo, I could do it, but I can't do it yet because I'm not as old as the Grand Elder. But let me just modify Shenron. So they modify Shenron, and then Piccolo calls Bulma again and says, where are the Dragon Balls? Oh, I got the Dragon Balls, don't worry. So they summon the dragon, and there's this thing where Bulma continues to get the Dragon Balls, and like this is the thing in Battle of Gods, I believe, or was it Resurrection of Frieza, one of those movies where she wished to be like 2 years younger, and then Frieza wished to be like 2 inches taller or something like that. So Bulma continues to wish with Shenron, which now you can get 3 wishes, kind of like Purunga. It used to be 1, and then when Dende modified it, used to be 2, and then he modified it again for 3 wishes, like Purunga. But with her wishes, she's wishing for like, longer eyelashes, less wrinkles, this and that. It's like, Bulma, what are you doing? And Piccolo's like, you keep calling Shenron, harassing him for stuff like that. Are you mad? And she's like, oh, Shenron doesn't mind. And so what happens is they have 3 wishes, and Piccolo wishes to have his potential unlocked. And Shenron says, it's unlocked. There you go. And then some, he adds. And then Piccolo's like, all right, that's all I need, so I'm off. And Bulma, oh, so I can do whatever I want with the wishes? Sure, knock yourself out. And there's a scene with her with her ass out again, like, oh, we need to tighten this thing up a little. And would you extend my eyelashes some more, Shenron? And then just as Shenron's granting the wishes, Piccolo's like, oh, we could have wished for Goku and Vegeta here. And there's a scene where he tries to wake Majin Buu up. Majin Buu's on like a lounge chair napping at Mr. Satan's house. So Majin Buu can't join the fight. So eventually what happens is Piccolo wears like a red ribbon uniform to, sneak in again. And they figure out we're going to abduct Pan, because if we abduct Pan, that'll piss Gohan off and he'll unlock his true potential yet again. And that's exactly what happens. And all hell breaks loose. And Piccolo starts fighting against Gamma 2 and Gohan against Gamma 1. And he sees Pan is captured, and he goes completely berserk. And at first he's in Super Saiyan 2, I guess you would call it. And then he goes past that into what he was during the Majin Buu arc when the Elder Kai unlocked his potential. And even with the Tournament of Power, where he's really powerful without going Super Saiyan. And he does that. And then amongst all the fighting, the Gammas figure out that they're not fighting these guys. They don't mean to fight them, because what are we doing abducting a little girl, right? Harassing Pan. And who's the real villain here? And Magenta releases Cell Max. And so Cell Max starts wreaking havoc. And Cell Max is voiced by Damian Clark, the same guy who voiced Cell in the original Dragon Ball series. Although he doesn't say anything, he just screams. But I found it funny how they recast him just to scream. And he's completely unstable. He's just a monster. And they start fighting, and Piccolo unlocks this new form where he gets really big and he turns orange. and he starts fighting, and then Gohan eventually gets what's known as the Gohan Beast form, and he gets hair almost like Ultra Instinct. It's like white, and they're able to defeat Cell Max, and it's a great ending. And amongst all the explosion, too, a great scene, because in the beginning, Piccolo told Pan, you got to be able to fly. And amongst all the explosion, there's all sorts of reinforcements arrive, where we have Android 18, Krillin, Goten and Trunks, and Goten and Trunks are older. And they actually do the fusion, ha! But they turn into fat Gotenks, because they haven't done it in a long time. And with the explosion, Bulma's there, too. Krillin's there to save Bulma. And he's like, Pan, you have to fly! And then Pan flies! It's such an awesome scene. So, eventually they defeat Cell Max, and Gamma 2 sacrifices himself like a true hero. And I thought that was a good send-off. I really enjoyed the 2 Gammas, and Dr. Hedo becomes reformed and agrees to work with Bulma at the Capsule Corporation, and just fantastic. And then after the credits, we see that Vegeta beat Goku in their fight. Fucking Vegeta got a W, so that was awesome. Just fantastic. So I'm going to show you some of the screenshots now. I'll show you some of the voice actors, because I didn't really talk much about the voice actors. Most of the OG voice actors did return. If you're a Dragon Ball fan, you got to go see this movie. But yeah, Kyle Haber, you know, he voices Aizen in Bleach, and when Gohan turned into Gohan Beast, he sounded like Aizen. It was fucking badass, because doing the normal Gohan voice is kind of like Goku, but he sounded like Aizen. I was like marking out for that. Of course, Sean Schemmel as Goku, Robert McCullum, who voices Goten, Christopher Sabat, Alexis Lee, I'm not sure who that is, as Gamma 1, Zeno Robinson, he voices a few characters recently, like in My Hero Academia and Black Clover. Zach Aguilar voices Dr. Hedo, and he voiced Tanjiro in Demon Slayer. He's been in quite a few things. Charles Martinet. Eric Val, of course, as Trunks. These are all return. Meredith McCoy, she voiced Android 18. This is the controversy with Johnny Young Bosch, of course, because of what happened with Vic. Sonny Strait, all these people returning. Justin Cook, who voiced Yusuke in Yu Yu Hakusho. Jason Douglas as Beerus. Ian Sinclair was freaking awesome, man, as Whis. I love Whis in the Dragon Ball Super anime. Just the way he voices the character is so good. Erica Limbeck, who I already mentioned. Bruce Carey, and then Damian Clark, who voiced Cell in the original series. And when they eventually assembled with, like, Krillin, Android 18, Trunks, Goten, they were talking about, like, all the characters on World that could help. I was wondering, where was Android 17? If anyone knows, let me know. But here are some of the screenshots. There's Piccolo. And with the still images, it does look nice. That's Gamma 1 and that's Gamma 2. He's like the analytical, serious one. He's the cocky one who ends up sacrificing himself at the end in a very heroic manner. There's Gohan with Piccolo's outfit, and he has glasses on, eventually takes them off. And there's a gag, too, when he doesn't need his glasses when he goes Super Saiyan, because it heightens his vision. And there's Pan. She was so cute, man. There he is again, powering up, and then he takes his sunglasses off. Gamma 2. Gohan again, powering up. And then Piccolo. And dude, that's how Gohan wins, too. I gotta forget this. He does the special beam cannon is how he defeats Cell Max. And that was fucking awesome, because that's Piccolo's move. This is a great account, by the way, if you're interested in Twitter stuff. Dragon Ball Perfect Shots. They post all sorts of OG images. That's where I got these from. So if you guys are interested. And then, let's see, are there more screenshots? That's Pan in the beginning. The Gammas and Dr. Hedo. Broly powering up. Goku. Gohan. Orange Piccolo, whereas his antennas turn into like demon horns, so I guess he does become the Demon King Piccolo yet again. And that's Cell Max, a giant monster. And Piccolo grows really big. And that's Gohan Beast. So, it was a lot of fun. If you're a Dragon Ball fan, you gotta see it. I'm gonna get it on Blu-ray. As you can tell, I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan. Got my Dragon Ball Z shirt. I was figuring out how I was going to show these on the stream, on the recording, but here I am. I got the Goku figure, and then I also have Gogeta Blue. I should have probably put them behind me for this video, but I don't know. I just figured I'd show you my stupid figures. So yeah, if you're a Dragon Ball fan, definitely go see it. I know I just summarized the whole movie. I enjoyed it. There's instances when the CGI is very choppy and looks like shit, but there's also instances in those still shots that I showed you where it looks great. I'm glad pretty much all the voice actors returned. I love the little scenes on Beerus' planet with Whis, like, oh, no, don't wake Lord Beerus up. You know, telling Goku, Vegeta, and Broly to train quietly. And then Pan. Excellent. Loved it. I'm definitely going to pick it up on Blu-ray, and I hope you guys see it in theaters while you can. So, thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day, and stay tuned for other videos coming soon. Have a great day, everybody.